Did you ever think when a hearse rolls by that someday soon you're gonna die? There's a lot more to that song, but I don't remember. It's from some crazy old movie from the 70s that did, you know, one of them drive-in theater type movies, trash-orama type films. This thing's worth a lot to the hearse type collectors. Hearse people love these old Cadillacs. Here's your phone number. If you're thinking about coming here, you might want to call ahead and make sure everything's going to be open. It's just, you know, family owned. Here's the true story of Old Car City. I'd say take a look, put it on pause, read it all. It's very interesting. And the man that they're talking about here says, now Dean was Walt's boy, and he grew up playing in these old cars. And I met Dean today, and Dean, this is amazing. I don't even know what to, you know, I think today is October 28th. I'm not sure, but it's Saturday, and he's going to his grandson's wedding today. His grandson lives just down the street. Imagine that. There's Dean right there. Congratulations, Dean, on your grandson being married today. Imagine that. Elvis Presley's last ride, you might say. And we were just talking about that in my videos of the hearses I was showing. It's rather amazing. It's a 77. I remember when these came out. The first year they came out with these little opera windows was probably 75. I was working in a big print shop in Hingham, Massachusetts, Spencer Press. I worked on a Harris Cottrell 1000 4-color offset web press. It was awesome. I should have stayed there, I often think, but I was young and wanted to see the world. And the head pressman, I worked on the third shift. He bought one brand new. His name was William Big Bill Sullivan from Moosehead, Nova Scotia. And when he pulled into the parking lot with that car, it was white and had it had like these spoked wire rims. It was awesome looking. If you're a person that likes nostalgia, old toys, things that you just don't see anymore, except if you want to buy them off of eBay or whatever, you need to come here. You just love it. It's overwhelming. Thrush Hush mufflers. I could use a couple of them right now. Rode on a few of these when I was a little tyke. 10 cents. Giddy up. These old pinball machines ain't the time like most kids know today. They were totally different, and you tried to make lines up there, kind of like bingo, and they usually had them in bar rooms, and if you did good, you won money. It was like a illegal form of gambling. I cleaned up on one night. I hit big jackpots 3 times in a row in Nashville, Tennessee. Back when I went down there when I was at Fort Knox. By the way, I'd like you to meet the missus. I finally ran into her. Hey, Mrs. Ken. Hope that came out. Bonnie and Clyde are at Old Car City. When that movie Bonnie and Clyde came out, Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty, me and my friends must have gone and seen that movie 5, 6 times, maybe more, and we all wanted to rob banks after seeing that one. We definitely gave it heavy and hard consideration, but we didn't. I guess they sell some vintage clothing for Bonnie and Clyde, and let me tell you something, that old Bonnie and Clyde, that made everybody want to be criminals. They glorified it. When you're coming out of this here warehouse, as I'm calling it, this is the entrance, and you take your right and you head on down the path, and if you do it correctly, and I did it pretty correct, you end up back here. Except you end up over in this section, and this section that we're heading to has got lots of vehicles that aren't covered in pine needles, and you're going to see some really cool stuff, I can promise you that. This here, it's costumes, because they're doing, that Halloween thing here. It says they got 30 live actors, and it's been voted #1 haunted tour in Georgia the last 2 years. I think if I came here, I'd run out crying. I'd be too scared. I couldn't take it. You're going to see some beautiful vehicles. At least I think they're beautiful. Old Barracuda. I mean, when these came out, I really loved them. I liked them better than the Mustangs. Just because that big glass window in the back. To me, that was just kicked ass. There's no way I could ever put all this on film, but we're getting to the real good stuff now. If you've watched a lot of videos of Old Car City, then you've seen all these. These are the easy ones. These are out front, easy access. You don't have to walk a mile for the camel. I know you old timers know what this is. They used to turn them into dragsters. It's a Henry J. Named for Henry J. Kaiser. Kaiser was the man who built the ships that sailed the seas. They set records building ships, Kaiser did, for World War II. And he teamed up with a guy by the name of Fraser. Kaiser Fraser. Now this vehicle here, it's a 51 Ford. His little old Metropolitan. And if you're into collecting soda cans and cashing in aluminum, I could say right now this car is worth its weight in aluminum. You take a look at all those Coca-Cola pop cans, and you know, when they had the Olympics here back in whatever year that was. Hey, maybe this old Coke machine works. Actually, that's pretty expensive, 35 cents. When I was a kid, the little store down the street from me had one of these out front. And this one here's a little different, but one night some kids went down and they had a, bottle opener, and they opened them up and they had cups. And the guy that had the machine had to send it back to Coca-Cola. He knew somebody had defeated him. They'd be opening them up all the time. Now this old Merc here, that is a hood ornament, is it not? Another old sedan delivery. Trust me, I said you're going to see some awesome stuff. We're getting there, we're getting there. Remember that movie Porky's? Porky had himself an old Hudson Hornet. And what's that car, that cartoon that came out, Cars? Paul Newman did the voice. Well, there's the car. Right there, all little kids know this car. Do they not? Yeah. There's a good old Hudson. If you look these things up, they had a real weird ass transmission set up in them, and they had this weird frame set up so they were low, and it's set up so that you got a lot more leg room in them. It says 1948. So this is a 48 Hudson that somebody had a while back and was proud of it, but it still ended up down here. Somebody didn't want to work on it, probably because of that crazy transmission. Now, I don't know what year this is, but I guarantee you're not going to see one of these driving down the road anytime soon. This looks like something Harry Truman would have ridden in a parade.
Hey, do you know which way to go to the outside?
Cool, Daddy-o.
Yeah,
2007. Will it run? Look at this. I wonder if it's called a Sergeant. Chrysler Imperial. Do you believe it? That looks like something Bonnie and Clyde says Paddy Wagon might have ridden in. Look at those tires, the spare tire. Town and Country. I mean, this is awesome. This car, you know, they didn't just bring this here and slap this shit on there. I guarantee you that hubcap is original. Now that one there isn't. That one in there says Plymouth. But the other two say Chrysler and they match up. That is crazy.